This microphone right here is the Earthworks SR117 handheld microphone. It's a condenser microphone valued at $200. You can buy it from Sweetwater, is where I purchased it, and Amazon, I believe. And I will put down both those links in the description below. I purchased this microphone because I wanted to try out a Earthworks microphone. I really liked a lot of the microphones that I heard, even the broadcast quality microphones. But I really wasn't prepared to spend $300 and $400 for a microphone that I wasn't sure that I would get a return on investment. I had sold a few microphones and I used some of that money towards the sale of some of my microphones towards this one. It didn't cover it at all. But I did get enough of a discount, so to speak, due to my own fruition that it made it a little easier purchase for me. Spending more than $100 on a microphone is a little hard for me to do at this point, mainly because I have several mics that are right around $100, and those are the Five Fine mics, in particular the Five Fine K9688 and the new Five Fine microphone that I've recently procured was the Five Fine Tank One. Both those microphones are absolutely fantastic, and they they give me all the detail and performance that I need at my level of content creation. So to spend more than $100 for me is very difficult, but I definitely wanted to try out kind of a higher end brand. So yeah, I just started asking ChatGPT questions and about what would give me a high end quality sound at a price under $200. And I fed it a bunch of criteria, and I let it open. Then had it ask me questions that it needed to clarify to get the best answer, and it came up with about 10 microphones. I don't have the list of microphones that came up with. I wanted the Earthworks or to get into the electrical voice microphones. Those were the top two brands that I was looking to get into. And after just doing some due diligence, I felt like the Earthworks SR117 was kind of a good choice, and it was at the right price point. It was $200 and under was my price point, and it was $200, 199. And like I said, I sold a few microphones, so it cut it about in half after shipping and handling and all that. One of the things that when I do content creation that's really, really important to me is I really want a plug and play microphone. And one of the things that keeps me from um, getting some of your higher end microphones, besides the price point and the lack of return on investment, um, is sometimes you have to do a lot of extracurricular type of things to make the microphone sound really well. And there's a lot of things um, that go on with those microphones, like your Shure SM7B. You've got to possibly buy Cloud Lifter or purchase a higher end interface to really push that microphone to its full extent. And other microphones out there that aren't really necessarily meant for spoken word. You might have to mess around with a lot of the EQ and all that kind of stuff. And uh, I don't really want to mess with that stuff. I don't want something that I'm not able to just plug in, uh, and allow my audio interface, like the Lua Connect 6, to do its job. Um, and that's exactly what I feel like this microphone does. And one of the criteria that I had is to be able to plug and play, but give me that ultimate professional type sound. Um, and this microphone fits the bill, in my opinion. Let me know below if you think it sounds really good as well. To me, to my ear, it sounds perfect. And I'm not really a big condenser fan because I don't um, create content usually, well, never in a treated room. I have dogs barking. You know, my I don't really have a full time space anymore where I do content. So I'm moving kind of from room to room, and I needed a microphone that was going to give me a really quality sound in my unprofessional surroundings, and I think that this microphone it really gives me that opportunity to have that sound with my amateurish skills and setups. But you know, again, $200 is a little bit hard for me to swallow. But I think that if you're willing to spend that extra $100, you're going to have a microphone that is going to last you for a while and give you that professional sound that you don't have to worry about anything. Get yourself this microphone and a Fifine Tank 1 or a K9688 as a backup or vice versa, then you're set for a long time. If you got a multiple person podcast, use this microphone for yourself and buy the K9688s for your guests, and you've to me you've got a professional sounding setup for a budget price. We're not entering into the world of higher end microphones, four, five, six, seven, $800, $1,000 ever. This is the limit for me, most likely, unless I'm given the opportunity to test out microphones at a higher price. But at this point, I don't see that happening, and I definitely am not going to be the one to shell out cash for a microphone that's three, four, $500 and get the same sound out of this or one of my Fifine microphones. I'm just not going to do it. I know professionals can hear the difference between, say, this microphone and my Tank One or K9688, but I'm not a professional. I do the automatic settings on my Lua Connect 6. I just follow the prompts and it comes up with the best settings for me. So I'm not doing any professional EQing. I'm not doing any audio editing when I do edit videos. I just go straight into CapCut or Final Cut Pro, and I just let it go. I just edit, and hopefully the sound is okay. And if the sound isn't that good, like the other day, I did an interview and I forgot to turn my microphone on. The whole time it was my Sennheiser Bluetooth headphones, the Accentum Plus headphones that was doing all the microphone work for me, and it sounded like absolute garbage. So in CapCut, I just did some AI voice stuff that it has to help correct some of it to make it sound a little bit better. You know, these are the things that I do as a non-professional content creator that uh, professionals would shake their head at. Um, One of the things is about this microphone again that I really liked, and what a lot of reviewers have said about it is that for a condenser microphone, it really blocks out a lot of noise as if it was a dynamic microphone, but with the crisp quality sound of a condenser. I really like that. I really wanted that out of a condenser microphone because I've had a couple condensers and they were just real noisy. And now, I'm not, I don't have it as close to me now as you can see. I'm not doing kind of like a crazy sound test or anything like that. I'm not going to get into the idiosyncrasies of testing a microphone like you normally see. I'm just here having a conversation and talking about it. Um, but now it's on a desk, and this would be how I would probably use it in some regards because again, I don't have a perfect setup, and I'm not always going to want to have it blocking any kind of movement that I have. I like having a little bit of space to, cross my arms, grab a drink, and so having it right up in my own in my space, so to speak, is not necessarily the most ideal at all times. And so when I'm just doing like a talking head like this, I'll utilize this microphone. I put it on my end table next to my chair right here. Again, I don't have a professional podcast setup, but you could tell the difference since it's not right up into my face. But I still think the sound sounds really good. Basically, what I was doing was I was holding on to it here. You know, I have a it's a Shure mic stand that I used, and I put a couple extenders on it, and I was just holding it at an angle. And my hand gets tired, so I'm not going to always want to do that. And like I said, not having a perfect setup, I do have that white thing behind me. It's a floor stand. I haven't been able to figure out a really good spot to hold it up. I need probably a longer XLR cable, so I'm gonna look at a one of the Rode XLR cables to purchase to be able to maybe put the stand in front of me or in the side over here, where I have a little room by my chair, and utilize the stand that way. But I would need a little bit longer XLR cable to be able to pull that off. These are the things that I purchase and then I buy them. And then I have another problem that I have, not having a large enough XLR cable to justify me being able to use it in the positions I want to use it in. And it's like, oh gosh. And then I had these microphone stands, and then these little purchases that you have to make. I needed some to make it a little bit better. I needed to purchase some extenders because the I this is the stand that comes with the Shure MV6, and the size was pretty small, so I wanted something a little bit higher, and it's much higher. It's doubled its size now with the extenders, and that way I can point it at my face and put it on my end table over here, and get enough quality sound that I'd be okay with. But I could definitely tell me pushing up the dBs a little bit has given, you know, uh, is definitely added some room noise to this microphone. But again, I'm still getting the sound that I like, and I'll put up with a little bit of extra room noise. One of the things that they had said in some of the reviews was that it doesn't distort very easily. Um, I don't normally scream on on my interviews, so it wasn't necessarily something that I cared about. But it's nice to know that if for whatever reason I did get crazy and start yelling or whatever, it wouldn't have that uh, it wouldn't be so quick to distort. But if you are somebody that's a gamer, or you get excitable and whatever, this microphone might be a good choice for you. um One of the things is about condenser microphones that I really like is that it really picks up your voice and it gives that extra detail and tone, kind of a, I don't know, for lack of a better term, that it just a little extra crispiness that maybe a little bit on the higher end that some of your dynamics won't pick up, and kind of limits. And this microphone for me is a perfect balance of that. It kind of gives me that dynamic feel, but it does add a little bit of onto the higher end, and give me that crispiness that I want, but not too much of it like condenser microphones can do. What can you say about the build quality? It's an Earthworks. From what everybody says, it's a really solid microphone company. They make really solid mics. The build quality, it definitely feels like a higher performing, higher end handheld microphone. I've had a few. It's got some density to it, and it feels it it feels kind of on a higher end level. Like I'm taking a step up in quality, in the hardware. One of the things that I liked about this microphone was just the versatility of it. And what made me pull the trigger for it was that, I could use it to do an interview. I could do it to create a talking head video like this, and then I could go live and stream with it, and in all use case scenarios it would perform. And again, that's the kind of microphone I want. I want that versatility. I don't think I could get that versatility with the LCT 240 Pro. And then I had another condenser that I tried out. It was the USB-C condenser. I saw some positive reviews of that. I tried the SE Noom microphone, and I don't know if that's how you say it or not. I like SE as a company. They make really quality microphones. Every microphone that I've had from them has been really good. So I've had like two or three. And they've been really good. So I'm not disrespecting them, but I just don't know that name, what they're looking for. But look it up. It's the USB C condenser microphone that they came out with a couple of years ago, and a couple of people did some reviews on, and they had some good things to say about it. One of the reviewers that I really like, be, not just because they're knowledgeable, but they're also very, very entertaining, is the Time Preservation Society. Uh, he did a review on the mic, and had some positive things to say about it. And I read a few things and watched a couple more videos, and that's how I do things. That's how I figure, if I'm interested in the microphone, I'll do some research, and if it fits my use case scenario and I'm able to afford to take that chance, I'll do it. And at the time I did, I bought it. But the microphone sounds pretty good. I've done a few interviews with it. I enjoyed using it. The form factor was kind of cool, but again, it just didn't give me that detail uh, to performance that I was looking for. With my limited skills, and just the and just not the dedicated area to do content creation. I don't have a treated room or anything like that. It just was not quite exactly what I was looking for in a condenser microphone. So I put that microphone up for sale. A lot of people don't know what it is. They So I haven't had a lot of people bite on that microphone yet. Yeah, one of the things that you need to know, that it does take phantom power because it is a condenser mic. So it's an XLR, of course, and then you need a decent audio interface to couple with this. Audio interfaces to me are an important purchase, and I feel like they get kind of lost in translation, and people are looking to get a decent microphone, but find that unicorn budget audio interface. And if you're going to get into XLR mics, I think spending more than a couple $100 on an any audio interface, that might be something to think about. Um, but I would do some heavy research on audio interfaces before I would purchase an audio interface. I think there are some budget options out there that will get the job done and do a pretty good job of help creating a decent sound out of your microphone. But I do think there's a lot of limitations, and there is a lot of little quirks about some of these audio interfaces. I'm not going to name any brands, but at this point, because again, I'm not as knowledgeable. There's a particular audio interface that I had that a lot of people like and or have liked in the past. Maybe they've taken a step up and gotten a better audio interface at this point, but they still like the audio interface, and I don't like it. And I think there's some limitations to it that people need to be aware of. And if they're only going to be using, like the Tank ones and the K9688s, it's a decent audio interface. But if you're looking to step up to a condenser or something on those lines, you may want to stay away from that audio interface and find something a little more conducive to working with several styles of microphones, if that's what you're trying to accomplish in your hobby. But I before I start spouting off anything, I do want to be a little bit more knowledgeable about certain things before I say it, because I did write down some notes about my experience with that particular audio interface, and I just want to make sure that I'm not sounding too ignorant, that I'm just sharing my personal experiences, adding a little bit of secondhand knowledge to that. Um, uh, just to make it a little bit more cohesive and, I don't know, entertaining, I guess, for lack of a better term, of a video before I do that. Again, audio interfaces to me are an underrated tool that, if there's anything that I would spend a little extra on, would probably be the audio interface. I'm uh, I got lucky. I found this audio interface. It was an open box purchase. It's the Lewitt Connect 6, and it's a step or two up from the audio interfaces that I've had prior, and it definitely is noticeable. Um, I'm still kind of in the in between use case for me. I wouldn't have purchased this at full price, and I don't suggest you go out there and purchase this particular device. I just got it at a price that was unbeatable. I see them now supposedly on sale for $300, but I paid half of that. I paid $150 for it, and it was an open box flash sale. And I got lucky, I guess, and I've been very happy with it. And so, you could find deals like that if you just browse the internet every once in a while and look for the best deals. You can maybe find something like this, and if you know the source and you're not, maybe it's Sweetwater or Guitar Center or something like that that sells used equipment. You may feel little bit at ease at purchasing equipment from some used equipment from a company like that. I would pay attention to that stuff and see if you can find a good interface for what you would pay for one of the budget ones. like the Vocaster or something like that. I would look for more of a higher end interface at a budget price, if possible. Um, so because I just think that it's one of the tools that really kind of brings it all together and gives you the ease of mind of being able to plug and play without a lot of worry. Um, and I feel like already I've gotten the return on investment with this than I have with the other interfaces that I've had. Yeah, anyway, this is the Earthworks SR 117 handheld microphone. I really like this microphone. And again, a lot of people don't like the handhelds because they're not as um, pleasing to the eye as far as broadcast style professionalism on a channel, on a YouTube channel that people are trying to imitate some of their favorite podcasters. uh, but for me, I really like the form factors of the handhelds, and they don't take up a lot of space. They're easier to store, and you can get the same sound practically out of one of these handhelds than you can a broadcast style form factor, in my opinion. I don't think that the Earthworks broadcast microphones are that much better than this one. I really don't. You might have a little more versatility with those compared to this, but sound wise, especially if you're somebody who has skills that I don't have, you could really maximize this microphone to the full extent, and you're paying half the price uh, than some of the big brothers of this microphone. So, yeah, a really positive feeling for this microphone. I'm definitely going to use it quite a bit. It's easy to set up. It's you know great sound, and I enjoy using this mic. So it's lightweight, and it will fit all of my stands and all of that. So and then I think if I was in a pinch, I could hold it in my hand. The handling noise isn't horrible, and I'm not a rock musician, and I'm not going to be making a lot of noise to begin with. So if I had to, I could handle this mic, and it'd be all right. So this is just part of my journey with gear, and this is how I will talk about equipment. I guess you could say it's a review, but really, I don't review things because I don't have the knowledge base to really give you a solid, uh, complete overview of the ins and outs of gear or and equipment. But I can give you the use case scenario for me, and me talking about it and using it the way I would normally use it is my style of review. And it's up to you to, do further research and look at other channels and read blogs and posts about this microphone or any other equipment that I talk about that comes from somebody who has a deeper understanding of these things. But for me, it's plug and play, and this is how I want to hear it when I hear a review. And but at the end of the day, for me, I just want to know if it sounds good and why my return on investment would be uh, would be a positive thing and not a net negative, right? So for this, in my opinion, if you had a budget of $200, this would be a great microphone to purchase. To me, it's almost an end game. You know what I mean? You don't need much more than this sound, in my opinion. But I could be wrong, and I would enjoy hearing your opinions in a positive nature. And please feel free to comment. And I look forward to doing my next gear talk. And I will be talking about other stuff besides microphones, but just things that I purchase and my experiences with those items.